welcome to Mon-Wed-Fri Raw TV. Let's fix this camera and make that shit square. All right, listen guys, so this is where we're at. You see the title, this is where we're at. I held off on making this video so I wanted to make sure I had more information that was really kind of popping up. So it seemed like there were conflicting, reports about this, that, and the other thing. First of all, I mean, 3 weeks ago, I was laughing at this virus. 3 weeks ago, I said, there's no way, I told my wife, I said, there's no way the government's gonna tell us you can't go to a restaurant. There's no way the government's gonna tell us you can't go to work. You can't, there's no way the government's gonna say you can't come out of your house. And here we are, everything's getting shut down. And we haven't been locked in our houses yet, but we're not too far from that martial law, which I have a strong feeling may be on its way. Now, and I'll explain to you why in a minute. And but here we are, right? The reality is, early news reports got it wrong. This is not a flu. And a lot of us laughed at it. We compared it to flu statistics saying, this many people died of the flu, this many people died of obesity, this people died of fucking drinking too much water every day. We started comparing it to things because we didn't really understand it, because the top specialists didn't understand it. This COVID-19 virus is not a flu. It is a form of pneumonia. When you get pneumonia, normally you have a cold. When you get a cold, sometimes it develops into bronchitis. By that time, you feel like enough shit where you go to the doctor and get treated, and they can actually usually stop you from getting pneumonia. If you don't go to the doctor for the bronchitis, eventually you wind up getting pneumonia, okay? And I've had pneumonia personally. I'm actually at risk for this virus big time because I had pneumonia that scarred my lungs. It almost killed me. And I also have something called sports asthma. So with my lungs filling up with fluid, I remember very specifically laying in bed in the hospital. All I had to do was go to the bathroom. When I sat up to go to the bathroom, my blood pressure spiked, my pulse spiked, and I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was suffocating. I felt like somebody literally had a pillow over my face and I couldn't breathe. And the doctors and nurses kept saying, just calm down, you'll be okay. And I'm like, I'm not okay. I can't fucking breathe. And I was panicking. And the panic makes it even worse. Like, I don't want to wish that on anybody in my life to feel that. And here we are to where that panic can become a reality where you die if not treated properly very quickly. Now, one of the reasons why I stopped and thought twice about putting the video up is because they started here getting reports of kids it doesn't affect, which is interesting, but normal, healthy, younger adults were dying of this also. Not just the older crowd and the younger crowd, like from the normal flu. So now, it took a little bit, but some of the information has come out now that certain things interact with this virus, which is what makes it so crazy. It doesn't just attack your lungs. It comes from different pathways. It uses different ways to attack you. And there's different things that are like throwing gasoline on a fire. So one of those things is ACE inhibitors for your heart. These things, supposedly this virus attaches to the ACE receptor in your brain, your lungs, in your heart, and everywhere. It attaches to that receptor, which basically makes those organs function properly. And that's why you take ACE inhibitors and stuff like that, to make sure that your heart is functioning properly. The ACE inhibitors somehow interact with, I don't know the exact mechanisms, they interact with the virus and you can die very easily. Lisinopril or lepronicil, whichever one is for blood pressure medications, if you're taking this interacts with the virus, you could die. So even one little blood pressure pill that you take a day to be healthy, if you're on it, you can die from it. Now don't come off the meds, contact your doctor because they're actually trying to figure out what meds to switch people to get them off these. Don't stop taking your meds, contact the doctor. Now, another thing was diabetics. So if you are a type 1 diabetic, I don't think it's type 2, but type 1, the AC1 interacts with the virus. If you have regular diabetes, regular type 1 diabetes, you're at risk more than the average person also. You could die. This one really threw me for a loop, and they're still trying to figure out, again, every day they're learning something else about this virus. Echinacea, one of the things that we would take to combat this virus naturally, an antibiotic, antiviral thing that usually it treats these things naturally. Echinacea can interact with the COVID-19 and that can kill you. So get off the echinacea. Okay, there's so many other things that we don't really just know about right now. Tamiflu does not work. Okay, it doesn't make it worse, but stuff like Tamiflu, there is not a single drug or natural product or nutrient or anything on the planet right now that will get this to go away. Plain and simple. That's what makes it so scary. There's no antidote, there's no treatment, there's no vaccination, there's nothing. Now, it's not to say that it's not out there. However, we just don't have access to it now or know what it is, which makes it even more deadly because we know about these few things now that interact with it. We don't know what else interacts with it until people die and then they find out afterwards. So more deaths are going to occur due to things that are interacting with this COVID-19. And honestly, there's not much we can do about it except keep ourselves separate. Social distancing, that's like the only thing that we can really do to stop this dead in its tracks. Now, I do believe martial law is on its way. President Trump said he doesn't think he'll have to take that measure. He didn't say no. He said I don't think, which means it leaves it open to interpretation that if shit doesn't clear up and start getting under control, we're going to have to go into martial law. Now, here's the thing about the martial law, or at least what we have right now. We'll take that at one step at a time. What we have right now is shutdowns of businesses, services, stuff like that for 2 weeks, right? Now, people are like, oh, it's only 2 weeks, only 2 weeks. And some people are upset. Some people are like, it's only 2 weeks. Well, here's the thing. I've seen some businesses close until April, like the end of April. So some of them already pushed it to a month, right? We keep hearing 2 weeks. Well, in China, it took them 2.5 months to get control over this thing. Okay, it's just getting under control now. 2 weeks, I guarantee you, if this thing keeps spreading, is not enough time. So be aware, you're going to be in your house for 2 weeks when the martial law comes in the lockdown, or at the very least, these things are staying closed around you for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, mark my words, I can almost guarantee this is going to happen. They're going to come on TV and say, look, we're doing our best. It's starting to work, but we still need more time to contain this. We need to be on shutdown for another 4 weeks, another month. That's the only way we're going to stop this virus from spreading. It is working. We need to continue this way. I'm sorry. This is just the way life has to be. Please accept this. We don't want to put you on lockdown, but everything has to stay closed for another month. If people resist against that and open shit up, it's going to go into martial law. So you're going to be locked down for another month no matter what. So that's already going to be 6 weeks. At the end of that 4 weeks, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be another 2 weeks or another 4 weeks by the time this whole thing is lifted. Like this travel ban, this fucking, people locked in their homes. I guarantee you it's going to be a lot longer than 2 weeks. But look at it like this. If they came out and said, everybody stay in your house for 2.5 months, people would lose their fucking minds. People might actually kill themselves. Like, honestly, it would be fucking anarchy in the streets. People would go off. 2 weeks is doable. So like everything else in politics and government, and anything else that's going to shock people, they kind of trickle it in a little bit at a time to get you adapted to it, accustomed to it, and used to it, so it's not such a big shock when the shit happens. If you've already been living in lockdown for 2 weeks, well, 4 weeks is going to suck, but I already know how it goes because I'm conditioned from the 2 weeks. By the time you get to the 6 weeks, 4 weeks is shorter than 6 weeks, so we're conditioned to it already. We can deal with it. We're strong. We can fight through it. They build you up, or they break you down in order to build you up, but as they're building you up like that, they try not to break you down too fast so that so that you can't kind of freak out to the fact that you're going to be stuck in your house for 2.5 months. And I'm looking at Italy, I'm looking at China, I'm looking at these other countries that are on lockdown where they go out on their balconies to talk to each other because that's the only way they can come out of the house in the balcony. They can't actually leave their balconies. And like some people are playing music and they're dancing on the things. Like they're making the best of it, but all these other countries seem to go on lockdown. You're trying to tell me that we're not going to have to because we caught it early enough. Well, I hope that's true, but bottom line is we're going to have quite the time trying to deal with this. And I honestly believe in my heart of hearts, I put this post on Instagram, that we can already feel the difference. Like the world has 100% changed. And I'm telling you right now, I know you guys feel it too. Go outside. The world is a different place today already than it was 2 weeks ago. The world is changing. I don't know if it's Mother Nature trying to fucking tell us we're being stupid. I don't know if it's a bioweapon. I don't know what it is, but the world is absolutely changing. And I do feel like all of us being locked inside of our houses are going to know what it's like to be on home confinement, because that's what it's going to be like. It's like we're being punished for something we didn't do. It's just to save our lives. But as we're locked in these homes, going through self-confinement like that, it's almost like being locked up in jail in a prison. I don't care how big your house is. Eventually, you got to get out of that fucking house. When all is said and done and we walk outside, it's a beautiful day right now in DMV. It's going to be summertime when this stuff is done. When we're finally allowed to come out of our house and go to restaurants and go to malls and go to movie theaters and go, walk in the park if we want to, ride our bikes on the bike trail. When we finally have freedom again, I'm telling you, I'll bet my life on it that when people leave here, everyone is going to be in a great mood. Everyone's going to be in a lighthearted mood. People are going to get along that normally wouldn't get along. People are going to bond together just like they have in every other tragedy. When 9/11 happened, we bonded together. Now, over time, we lose that bond and we start arguing and fighting amongst ourselves again. And then another major thing happens and we bond together. That's what we do as Americans. That's what we do as human beings all over the world. And then we forget, and then we're reminded by something tragic again. Well, right here we are. This is probably one of the most tragic things most of us have ever seen in our lives. Unless the Spanish were alive for the Spanish flu, we've never seen anything like this. The way this attacks, it has attacked everybody in the world like that. It is like the most, as far as I've seen in my lifetime, and I've been studying it, not many other things have ever had the way the aspects that this disease has or this virus has. And by next year, if they don't find some kind of vaccination, this thing can mutate. We can have this whole fucking thing start again in the fall when flu season kicks in. Like, that's a scary thing to think that we'll have 2 or 3 months where we're okay, and then we're all in fucking lockdown again if we don't have a vaccination or a cure for this thing. because it will mutate and they have to keep up with it just like regular flus. I mean, how many flus do we have out there that they give you the flu shot? It doesn't work because it's already mutated. It's the wrong strain that they give you the vaccination for. So this thing has the potential to be something that really does wipe out a lot of the population, and it's not a joke like we thought it was. I was dead wrong about this. I took it so lightheartedly because I felt like here in America, we're just awesome, right? We have fucking everything at our disposal. Our healthcare system, our medicine, it's light years above everywhere else, right? It's not like it's real. It's legit real that this is happening. It's happening to us right now, to all of us. And there really isn't anything we can really do about it. It's I don't know, it's scary and it's sad, and it's one of those things where we need to take care of each other. We got to bond together. This is not a workout video. I mean, bottom line is I put up the Corona workout, the lockdown workout. As of today, my gym closed. I actually went to the gym today. It was open. I said, shit, I went right away. I trained for an hour and a half. I trained hard. I actually trained heavier than I've trained in fucking years, to be totally honest with you. Then I did 70 minutes, an hour and 10 of cardio, because I knew I wouldn't be able to get back in there later on, or tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, that's it. That's my last workout for a while now. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to get into a gym is. We're looking at 2 weeks to possibly a month to possibly more. We just don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like life as we know it has changed as of now. It's different. Today, March 17th, as of today, life is different in the entire world, including America. It's going to be different tomorrow when we wake up. The things that we could go do today, close tonight, and we can't do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be even different. The world's going to be a different place every day as this thing happens until it's all done. And when it's done and we can come back out, it's not going to go back to the way it was before this virus. It's going to be a different world afterwards. It's crazy to think that we're right now, what we're watching is a shift in the entire world on how people think, how they live, how they feel, how they interact with people. Some people's morals may change. Some people's their religious beliefs may change. The ideology may change. Like so many things are going to change right now. And I feel like it's going to be for the better. It's going to be a positive thing because remember, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, which means that when this action of this virus is done, killing people, hurting people, locking us down, the opposite reaction is going to be a springboard or a rebound in the opposite way that'll be just as big, if not bigger. So imagine all the negativity and the fear and everything that's happening right now that'll eventually launch into happiness and joy and excitement. Like, that's the world that I want to see. And if I have to go through this to get there, that's cool. But like I said before, that I am susceptible to this thing, truly susceptible to this thing, and you just don't know. Like right now, I just don't know. You just don't know. Literally, this virus can be picked up at any time, any place, and if my lungs are not strong enough, which I already know they're not that strong, let's just hope it doesn't go that way, right? But I do have very good reason for concern. I hope that I see you at the end of this, and I'll continue making updates and videos. Like this doesn't stop just because of the coronavirus. Obviously, I'm making videos from home, so hopefully this isn't my last video, but being prepared for it is something that I think that it makes sense at this point. So thank you guys so much. Take care of each other. God bless and Godspeed. I'm Bicep, and I approve this message. Be safe and take care of each other. And we're out.